There's something else that I need to talk about. So I've just had a meeting or just a discussion with the person who's living in my sister's flat, which is a flat that I own a quarter of. My sister owns three quarters. You know, we've been charging we were charging 1,000 including bills because she was only supposed to stay for 3 months, and then it turned into 6 months, and then the bills started shooting up, and we I think it was, I don't know how long we paid the bills. I really can't remember, but we were paying the bills for a while, and we were kind of actually starting to get worried because we realized that there was a lot of people living in the house, and if we were paying the bills, they could be leaving the taps running all day long, or just having huge amount of heating on like 24/7, and I noticed it was on a lot, so I was worried about that for a very long time, and I managed to get a new deal where we charge 800 a month, providing they pay for the bills because they weren't supposed to stay for more than 3 months, and then it got longer, but it took a very long time to get that deal updated because she kept kind of being like, oh no, no, we agreed, and it's like, we didn't, it was the 3 months, and I don't know, managed to also, because it's not even mostly my property. I feel like it should be my sister that does this, but my sister just wasn't doing anything, and I kept thinking that she was more capable than she was. So we always had these problems. But yeah, I managed to get that deal, and then I left it for about a year and a half, and then we tried to go up to 900, and she kind of refused again for quite a few months. And then she agreed. Well, she wanted a contract basically. She wanted to prove that she lives here and she's working here, and so I said I'd only give her a contract if she agrees to 900. She agreed to it, and I'm sure it was only for 6 months. But she was only paying 850. So she was paying 850, but the contract was for 9 months, and she's now that I realize, we had a valuation and it's worth 1,200. Okay, if we get an agent to run it, they'll take 100. So really, we're going to get 100, 1,100. So it's probably only, 250 more, 350, yeah, 250 more a month, which isn't that much. But if you don't have that much money, then it's more. And because I don't know, but there's all these stupid rules in England about you can't get rid of tenants because you want more money. And on one hand, I can understand that's, it might be unfair to chuck someone out because you can get more money from someone else. But at the end of the day, it's just like, this is a business. Rules like that actually freak the hell out of tenants or people that are renting out houses that don't have a long list of houses. If you've only got one or two houses that you're renting out, and if you know that you could be getting £250 more from someone else, it's kind of annoying if you've got tenants in there, and if they're also, constantly things are breaking, and I think there was a few things that I didn't include on the list, the boiler breaking, and there was a leak in the front porch, um, and she complained about quite a few things. And the garden as well. The garden was getting worse and worse. And the first year I actually mowed it 4 times. So she didn't mow at all the first year because it was supposed to be any short let. I was Part of the deal was I mowed the lawn. When it turned into long let, I tried to get her to do it, and she kind of refused. And even the following year, I still ended up mowing the lawn because she wasn't doing it. And eventually, she kind of agreed, but she always did a kind of a bad job. And right now, she'd kind of just been like, I do it every year, and I do it. And she didn't. It was awful. And I know one time there was a big pile of junk that was out there for about 2 months, and all the neighbours complained because they said every time it got windy, it just all the stuff flowed out the way. People complaining about rats and stuff. So I've had quite a few complaints with the garden. So for her to just play everything down and make out that she's been looking after the garden okay, it's like, no, that's not the truth. But anyway, yeah, she was saying that she's not leaving basically, and I'm like, well, then I'm gonna have to get an agent to pay to get you out. And then she's like, oh, it's not legal, I have rights to stay here. And it's like, well, I don't know what the legal terms are, and I feel like England are just way too soft when it comes to renting laws. I mean, you should be able to get someone out if you can get a substantial amount of money more, and also if the people that are living in there are not like, if I were to take, I don't think I even took pictures of it, but there was a big mess. I'm sure neighbors have taken pictures of it. They might have been looking after the house, but they weren't looking after the garden. And the amount of charges that we the toilet breaking, and the things that they complained about, it's, we weren't making much if you take that away. And so it's like, I want to get an agent to do it, but if an agent runs the property, then they're going to take a fee. And right now, if I charge an agent on 850, then we're maybe making 750. And what do you do in that situation if the law is not on your side because they're saying you need to care more about, why should I care more about the people living in there when you can make so much more from someone else, and if someone else can also give you less hassle and look after the property better? Okay, she would argue that she's looking after the property fine, and the house is okay. I mean, there's quite a lot of stuff in there, but it's, yeah. But anyway, because I signed a contract saying if you pay 900 from February onwards, you can have it. I'm sure it was only a 6-month contract, but she's saying it might have been a year. I don't know. I kind of she said it was for a year from then, and I said no, it was 6 months, and she said I don't think she argued it very well, so I think I might have been. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But she said if I pay 900 from the start of that contract, so she'll give me £450 for the last 6 months that she basically has underpaid me. She'll pay that, and she'll start paying 900 from now on. And I feel like that's a much better deal. One, because I think I'm about to get onto a TV show soon, hence I don't really want to be trying to find new tenants, or maybe even worrying about new tenants. But yeah, I am worried the fact that in another 6 months' time, she might start being like me. She was trying to use the excuse that I can't kick her out because she's been there 3 years. And it's just like, actually, it's 2.5 years. Actually, you were only supposed to be here for 3 months, and then it turned into 6 months, and then it turned into a year, and then 2 years, and then 2.5 years. And what now? You're saying you've been here 3 years and that I don't have a right to chuck you out because you live, if you have loads of properties, um, maybe you should be lenient on them. But if you're not making money, if you don't have a huge amount of properties, yeah, it's what do you do in this situation if the law is not on your side because they say, oh, you rented out to that person for 3 months and now they want to stay forever and they want to pay at a very low rate. And what do you do in that situation? You're allowed to go up a little bit each month. But yeah, I think the amount that I was going to go up was kind of more like the 25 or 25% more, and she was saying that's not fair, but technically it was because I didn't go up last year or the year before that. Hence, instead of going up in small stages, because I hate the whole asking for a little bit more. I hate doing that. I'd rather just wait a few years and then just ask for a lot more and have them leave if they're not happy with that. I think I'd rather do that. But the problem is, if they don't want to leave, they're going to start arguing you back. But anyway, I'm okay with the situation. That's the new arrangement, and I'm very happy that the garden looks nice. She's paid £300, or she said she paid £300 to get a gardener for front and back. She's mowed the lawn. It looked like a field. She'd done it once all year, and it looked like it wasn't going to be fixed. I the first year I mowed it 4 times in the year, and each time I did quite a good job. And I did wait till the grass was kind of long until I cut it, but it it looked it looked manageable. Whereas how it looked now, it looked completely unmanageable. So I'm really glad that she's done that. I think, although it's weird though, because I told her, she said, I've done it, and showed me pictures. And I was like, great, the neighbors will be happy. And then she responded saying, I don't know what you mean. And kind of in that sense, I was like, what do you mean you don't know what I mean? You don't know that the neighbors will be happy that you've cut the grass? I mean, a few of them have told me that they're not happy with how it looks. Why would you not understand that the neighbors will be happy about it? I don't really know what she's getting at on that. But anyway, yes, I feel like though the longer she stays in there, the more likely she's going to claim right over the house. But anyway, well, I don't like managing property. That's what I know. When you're talking to someone about trying to get more money out of them, I hate doing that. I hate money. But at the same time, you've got to be a bit more fair to the market, whatever the market is. And I think there is a friend of my mum's who bought the house, and she's been in there like all her life. She's an elderly lady. I don't know how she would afford to be renting in Belsize Park. I think she's under a very, very low rent considering the area. But yeah, the tenants can't get her out because she's been in there all her life. And I think this is it's wrong. It's abuse of people who are buying houses, for people to buy a house thinking it's going to be investment, and then to have someone in there be really happy, and then over time realizing that the market is going way more than what the person is agreeing to pay, and then you finding that you've got a sitting tenant and they basically are claiming to own the house. It almost felt like she was claiming that she owned the house, and that I can't just ask her to leave because I can make a lot more somewhere else, and it's true. But on the other hand, it's not a good thing, because it's like, and I've also heard some other stupid advert where it says that if there's rot or something in dry rot in the house, the tenant can the person who's in the tenant can complain to the landlords about problems, and actually sue them over these problems. Now, that is a problem, because one thing I noticed about this lady is sometimes when she complains about something, she tells me that she's told me before that she's told me about this. And I'm like, no, you haven't. You never told me that the flush door wasn't working. I fixed it. Why would I think that it's not working? Oh, I told you, it broke. It wasn't still working. And I don't know, but sometimes she makes out that she's told me about things when she hasn't. Or maybe she tells me once. I think she told me about 3 things, and I fixed 2 things, and then she like a month later kind of was like, why didn't you do that? And it's like, oh, it's easy to sometimes fix something and then just forget about something else, and then she makes you feel like the bad one for not doing something. And it's I hate confrontation. Get an agent. That's what I'm going to do. But I think, though, I've got a tip. My sister is pregnant again, and she's going to be pregnant in May. So I'm thinking I'm going to tell her that my sister wants the house back, even if she doesn't. But I don't know if that's actually. I don't know. I don't know if I care enough. That's the thing. I don't know what's going to. I feel like if I go to America and I'm a millionaire, then I'm not really going to care about this property at all. So I'm just. I don't know. I don't know. If you've got loads of money, then it doesn't matter if you have a tenant that's paying under the amount. But if you don't have lots of money, and if you know that your sister's no longer working because of just having 2 babies in a row and not being very mentally stable, that's although I actually need to say something about my sister's new partner, which is that he has three children, 3 sons, um, and therefore he has experience with looking after kids. So if she does get the kid that she lost from the social workers back, and has another one, this guy not only was a sort of long-term friend of the father of her first kid, but his partner is her brother. His ex-partner. They're still married technically, but they are getting divorced. And she started dating someone else for a year, and he committed suicide last month. But anyway, that partner, her brother is the what was it? Her brother is a wife. So the father of the other one, his brother's wife's sister. So I think it's a sister. There's some sort of marriage connection, basically. This guy is related through 2 marriages to the father of Sophie's older child. So it is kind of like a family unit thing. Um, hence, it might work out. But I don't know. Right now, I'm happy that she's paying 900, which is like, yay! I finally managed to get the 900, and not only 900 from now onwards, but from 900 from back in February, which is a bonus.